Welcome back to a brand new episode of Starfield with Normal People. My name's Duane, and I'm joined by my good friend Michael. Michael, how's it going this week?
It's going great. It's an exciting week.
It really is. A lot has happened.
It's an exciting week, as exciting as can be without the game actually releasing.
True. But we sound like ultimate fanboys right now.
We do.
Like, oh, it's such a great week, and we haven't even played the game
We have
yet.
not even played the game. But it is an exciting week because, you know what I'm going to say? They are
I have no idea.
They are starting to believe.
They are starting to believe. What do you mean by that?
Starting to believe. So there's been some more developments, some more things are being shown. Reviewers are sitting with the game. They're not allowed to say anything about the game yet, but we'll get into that.
A group of people have early access, right?
Yeah.
So like influencers, gaming outlets.
Yep.
So there's
Reviewers,
information that's getting kind of leaked out, I guess, right?
Yeah, there's little bits and pieces. And then there was one gentleman who leaked 40 minutes of the opening of the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that, right? So just to make that clear, like
you're not. No.
As someone who gets a early access, it's like, hey, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't do this. But somehow it got out, right?
And I'm pretty sure his early access was unofficial. And definitely every time the video gets posted somewhere, it gets nuked, gets taken down. But I'll say this. The reason I said...
It gets Nuka-Cola'd?
It gets Nuka-Cola'd. Every time, the reason I'm saying that they are starting to believe is because now that this information's getting out and now that some of this gameplay is being leaked, the comments are shifting.
Right.
The tone is shifting. And what I mean is, sure, we've been excited for the game.
Yeah.
We've been excited since the beginning, and we have the pre-orders to prove it, but
the overall tone, you would say, like, there's a lot of nervousness.
Skepticism. Yep.
You know, and with fanboys such as ourselves building up the expectations are sky high.
Yeah. Sky high, and I want to say, like, we've always tried to manage our expectations, right? We've said we're excited, but only because we've played other Bethesda games. We expect it to be fun. That's all we've really said.
Agreed.
But the tone of the comments has been, well, I don't know if they'll pull it off. You know,
it's ambitious. Let's be real. I mean, this is a huge 8 to 10 year, or no, they actually said 25 years in the making was on the trailer we saw this week. Yeah. Which, you know, is kind of like a movie trailer thing to say.
Yeah.
You know, from the producers of Jaws, it was like one guy who was like a gaffer on the original Jaws movie, or like from the makers of Jaws, right? Comes a new movie. I think there, with this much invested, expectations are super duper high.
So now, where I had seen comments that were often doubting, I'm now seeing comments that are like, oh, wow, the animation looks great, the faces look great, the caves look great. I saw people commenting about how good the rocks look.
You know, I fall into that category because there was a scene in the what did they call this last trailer that was about the
United Colonies? Okay.
Yes, the United Colonies. There's a shot in that trailer of like the guy's in a canyon and he sees like a Saturn or they or whatever see this vista, and I was like, oh, those rocks look so good.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to day one of being a gamer is, oh, the graphics are so cool.
Yeah.
You know, that comes down to immersion in the game.
And I'm one of those people that will look at a puddle. If it's raining and I see droplets hitting the puddle and rippling out, I'll look at that for a good 5 to 10 seconds. I will appreciate that stuff. So
you were a big proponent of ray tracing when it came on Xbox, right? When they added that kind of into some of the newer games. And you're like, wow, this game that I played through before, it's all new to me basically, because there's like these effects that I'm now looking out for. Like you said, these ray tracing puddle, you know, atmospheric effects or whatever that really enhance the game.
You know, another comment that I've seen that is very interesting because there was the whole hullabaloo over it being 30 frames per second. I've seen, again, I'm not watching the leaks, by the way. I just want to make that very clear.
I'm not either. Like, I don't want to see that 40 minutes of gameplay.
No. Especially since the leak was vertical video. You know,
you watch it like this.
I think he was playing.
You turn your head.
I think he was probably playing one-handed because he's filming with the other. So you know, it's not the best example of the game, but still. It's
a true leaked video, right? It has all the hallmarks of like
all the perfect
vertical video.
Yeah. The thing is that people are now saying, oh, that 30 frames actually looks very smooth. They're complimenting how it runs, and I guess the motion blur has kind of a negative in the gaming community. I don't think it should, but motion blur can be really annoying. But
does that go back to the TV? Like when you get a default TV, it's in like
that smooth motion,
which is evil.
You don't
want. You'll walk into like a car dealership or whatever. You're getting your car serviced, and they'll have a movie playing, and it's just in that default
default
motion
settings.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, this looks like a soap opera.
The sharpness is turned all the way to like 80, and it's like
it looks like they shot it on a consumer camera, like.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you ruined it. That's great. Well, they're saying about this game, about Starfield, that the blur is like just enough. It's just perfect to make the 30 frames look smooth. So it's very nice. It's great to see that shift in the tone. And
they're starting to believe.
They're starting to believe.
And by they, you mean the gaming community, the people that are going to buy this game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. People that were on the fence, are starting to go, oh, maybe I should get that game. Very exciting. So Gamescom is happening right now.
Yeah.
As we speak, as we record. Gamescom is a huge conference that's going on in Germany.
Okay.
And it's honestly one of the biggest.
It's the European version of like E3 or CSGO.
CES.
CES.
Yeah, CES.
Which none of those exist anymore, but like these big gaming conventions that we've had in the past.
Yeah.
Here in America.
Gamescom is one of the last standing bastions of game conferences. So that's happening right now, and Bethesda is actually showing the first mission in an extended look, but it's only behind closed doors.
Okay.
To people that bought tickets to go see it. So
are we going to get that handheld cam
we
footage?
Probably will. Maybe someone will hold the camera horizontal this time. But I did want to ask, so this is a huge section of gameplay that they're going to be showing. It's the opening mission, apparently, from what I've read. We don't get to see it, not officially. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad because I feel like I already have a general idea of what this game is based on how many hours I have in Bethesda's other titles.
Yeah.
I dare say 100 plus hours across the three games, probably more like 300.
Yeah.
Maybe more, I don't know. I've been playing those games for over a decade, right?
And then you make another character, and then there's another 100 to 300 hours.
And I treat movie trailers the same way. I don't like movie trailers particularly unless they're a teaser. Like I loved, again, we talked about Barbie last week, but it's just on the public kind of consciousness. They had the 2001 kind of homage in the beginning of that movie.
Right.
The first teaser trailer for that movie was just that little section. And I thought that was clever because it doesn't really show you what the Barbie movie was. It just showed you, kind of.
Here's why you'd be interested in maybe watching it.
First of all, it was like a cool nod to Kubrick,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So automatically a movie I never had any interest in seeing initially was like kind of on my radar at that point.
Yeah.
But the teaser's great, and I go back to like the original Terminator 2 teaser, which was like James Cameron in his basement with like some stop motion photography and some clever editing.
Yeah.
It wasn't these 2.5 minute trailers we get sometimes, which is like Transformers, and you see every plot point.
Yeah.
And you get the whole story, and you're just there for
I see a
cool
trailer.
robots fighting,
I see a trailer sometimes and I go, I hope you didn't just show me the ending. I feel like you showed me the ending. So pertaining to Starfield, though, you don't need it anymore.
I like what I've
personally.
seen, which is a teaser in the sense like it's about space. It's NASA punk. It's got a few these features, and there are more features.
We've seen the type of groups that we can join.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like factions and groups and exactly. So, I mean, we are getting more and more information, and we're doing a podcast about the game, so we are going to disseminate more information about it. However, it's not like sitting down and watching that first mission.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between me telling you, hey, you can build kind of your own ship and fashion it how you like it, versus a dude sitting there doing that same thing, and you're seeing all the things that go into that.
Yeah.
It's way more spoilerish. So
I'll say this: I would have wanted to watch this mission, this demo,
until now. So you're on my side.
Now, I'm on your side now. But if it were 2 months ago, and they're like, we're going to show you the opening mission, and I knew that Starfield was far off, I would want to watch it. But now Starfield is coming out.
Yeah.
In
so is it
just
2 weeks?
a week.
Oh, it's a week from now.
It's 2 weeks if you get it on release day. Pre-orders, you're getting it ahead of time.
Gotcha.
So, or I guess maybe pre-orders, and if you get the little upgrade. I pre-ordered the Constellation Edition. I'm getting it ahead of time. Super nerdy. I gotta say, one guy already got his. I've seen the pictures, and I'm so jealous, especially since we want to do an unboxing video. I was like, come on, Bethesda, send it, please.
Maybe they will. Maybe you'll have a package when you get back.
I keep checking the status of the
right. I was gonna say
information.
It's not scum saving. It's like FedEx scumming.
F5. It's
you're
FedEx
refreshing the FedEx website.
It's refresh scum refreshing.
Scum refreshing.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's scum refreshing. That's what I'm doing. Yep. Nope. Not yet. Just still waiting on that. But
that's funny.
Back to this exciting week. It's not just what they're showing off behind closed doors. We also got the live action trailer.
We did, yeah.
This is the last big marketing push before every Bethesda game. I want to say, I don't know about pre-Skyrim, but I know Skyrim had a live action trailer. I know Fallout 4 had it. Maybe 76. Try not to think about 76 that much, but I guess
we'll never mention 76 again.
I guess Fallout 76 is really good now. People say it's really good now, but it's an online game.
They didn't give up on it, which is nice.
That's really nice.
Another credit to Bethesda for like saying, "Hey, it was a big misstep to count on online gameplay." Yeah,
to fill in the cracks of the story But they really came in and saved it. Maybe during this week I'll have to give it another shot. But once Starfield comes out, that's it.
Yeah.
But
uninstall.
I thought it might be fun for us to, we've already watched the live action trailer. Probably everyone that's listening to this has already seen it. But I'd love to just, it's not that long. We could take a look at it and see if we could do a breakdown.
I'm in.
What is really cool, first off, is that they set this to an orchestral version of Rocket Man.
I wanted to talk about music and how effective they've been at music, but Rocket Man, very cool. We've seen that a lot where they take a classic song, classic rock, like Batman with Nirvana. Yeah. And then actually that latest Batman movie almost was like, the whole soundtrack was just variations of that one Nirvana song. Yeah, so Rocket Man by Elton John.
Man by Elton John. I also thought they could have gone with basically like almost anything from Bowie. There's like two or three really good songs
Major
that would
Tom
work.
Or
Major
like
Tom or Starman.
I'm sure they went over all the classic
they probably
space related.
They were like, man, everyone's done Space Oddity and Starman. So, but this is great. So it opens up and we've got a shot of New Atlantis. Now.
Gorgeous, by the way.
It's gorgeous. Of course, this is not game footage. Of course, it's the live action trailer mixed with CGI, but it is representative of the world that we're going to be in. So very cool. You've got a ship flying overhead.
World of Warcraft vibes, you know, with their big production opening.
Blizzard always put out amazing trailers. Like
You get
full
that game
CGI
installed
trailers.
and you're like ready to sit down and grab the popcorn.
So we get a view of New Atlantis. We see kind of this hustle and bustle, and there's this little girl, and she's super excited to see the ship. I love this because this is kind of like we are all like this little girl. We grew up watching sci-fi and dreaming of like, you know, going into space and stuff. It's something that in our world we wouldn't ever have. But she lives in this world.
Yeah, I think that's an inherent human quality, the longing to explore. And in our world, we have NASA and SpaceX, and that's still very like behind a gate. You know, like in her world, it's everyday life.
People are wondering at what point in the timeline is this trailer happening? Because it could be happening now, and maybe we'll encounter that astronaut in the game, or this is something that's happening in the past, and maybe she's will grow up
or something,
and we'll see her in the game. Or maybe, you know, maybe we'll see her as a kid, maybe we'll see her as an adult, maybe we'll see her become an astronaut. Who knows? So moving on, what's very cool is he gives her the patch. He's got a patch and he gives it to her, and then they take off. Now we're seeing sort of like the exploration, and this to me is kind of how the game will feel. It will feel like this. And so it's very exciting to watch this trailer. Combat, of course. Pirates, probably.
Yep. Avoiding asteroids, you know, get that Star Wars kind of asteroid chase in there.
So we see the astronauts land on the planet. It looks Mars-like, but there's definitely rock formations. It's not Mars, right? We've got these tall rock formations. I want to point out that in this trailer, he's got Vasco, the robot, trailing behind. So he's present. He's part of the crew. Well, this might be a different robot, but it's definitely the same type of robot that Vasco is.
Yeah, just kind of bipedal, you know, very somewhere between Boston Dynamics and something in the future.
Yeah, almost
right?
like I love how some of the aesthetic in this game reminds me of the movie Alien. Like it's that very like 1970s, 80s view of what the future might look like.
Yeah.
So they enter this.
It does look like the loader technology where you see like hydraulics and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it's like has the whining of the servos, and
he's got those long arms. So I think that he'll get the cereal off of the top shelf for you, you know. So which is very handy. So that's great. You don't need that though. You're very tall.
True.
You're a tall person.
Although maybe instead of the cereal, it could just be like, you know, give me the apple off that top branch.
Yeah,
there's always another, you know, thing that's higher.
That's right.
No matter how tall you are.
And you know, you're working on your car. He might be able to, like, long arms, get under there and you know, get the.
I can see the advantages.
Like a bolt.
I would love to have a helper robot like that.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so great. Come on,
fantastic.
Let's get on that. Come on. So they enter this cavern in this trailer. And it is full of these massive, beautiful crystals. So we've got sort of a bluish cavern for those who are just listening. We've got a bluish cavern with some orange crystals. Are they lit up or are they just reflecting light? I'm not sure. They almost look a little lit up.
It's the classic summer movie color scheme, oranges and blues.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I always see criticism of like, oh, orange and blue. But you know what? It works.
It does work.
It works if it's done well.
There's science behind it too. It's like they're the two most opposite colors on the spectrum or something.
Yeah. They're the two opposites that look good.
Or complementary.
And it's like, because otherwise you got red and green. Well, that's Christmas. And then you got purple and yellow. Just kind of crazy, but if you're doing like if you're doing a weird movie, go for it.
Yeah.
They get into this cavern. Now, okay, my wife, Christiane, she noticed something. You know what? It might be nothing.
Okay.
It might be something. She thought, and I agree, that this cavern full of the crystals, like near the end, they are encountering something very bizarre. There's floating rocks, floating crystals, all sort of in a pattern. She noticed that these particular crystals in the back, it almost looks like teeth. So maybe it's just crystals. Maybe it's just crystals. But how amazing would it be if they are hiding right here in the trailer a creature with giant crystal teeth?
Right.
So who knows? Only time will tell.
We saw a creature it was an alien animal, right?
Yeah.
That we saw walking by.
We've seen some big and small alien creatures. Are they...
No intelligent life, though.
Are they? No.
I mean...
Right. This is the whole game
premise.
seems to be the search for intelligent life. And I gotta say, hey, this is Bethesda. And Skyrim came out a long time ago and had big dragons you had to fight. So it just makes me wonder how much they're going to push things. How big of a creature are we going to encounter?
That's a good point. I didn't think of scale in terms of like enemies.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, they could really scale up the enemies because that was a limitation before.
Yeah.
Depending on how they built the game. But man, you're right. There could be some big enemies or friends or whatever.
Yeah, big
creatures.
I'm so excited to find out. They keep talking about how much they are keeping it hush hush and hiding and they want there to be surprises. So we'll see. We'll see how big the creatures get. I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's an astute observation.
So
I like the floaty rocks and I like his watch.
Yeah.
They're pointing that out. They're highlighting that. You're going to be able to do stuff through your watch.
This is the first time in this live action trailer this is the first time we've seen the watch pop up like a scary warning. So what the watch is doing, if you're just listening, the watch is now glowing red. There's kind of a warning symbol on it. It's
the astronaut's watch, yeah.
Yeah, the astronaut's watch.
He doesn't see it though.
He might be ignoring it. Because he sees something. What we see on his face, he's filled with wonder. There's the floating rocks. I believe, and I have to give credit to a comment that I read. A comment said that they think that this might be Constellation finding the first artifact. So before we even get there in the game,
this was like a significant event in history.
Yeah.
Within that world. I love just as a side note, his costume, his outfit, his spacesuit.
Yeah.
Is so realistic and again, feels like this is the spacesuit we're going to be wearing.
Yep.
In 2 decades from now or whatever.
And they had to build this replica to shoot the live action trailer. Where is it? Who got to keep it?
Oh, you know where it is.
Who got to
Todd Howard's closet, or it's probably in the headquarters.
Do you think Todd, when they were casting this, they said, "We need somebody with my measurements, so that when we outfit
Here's
him,
my measurements. Now you can cast someone within those, because I'm going to be
I would
role playing later.
Yeah, if I could get this, I would put it on to play Starfield.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know about that. That sounds like a lot of work, actually.
Sounds hot.
Yeah.
Maybe it's cooled. Maybe it's air cooled inside.
So in the trailer, they need a cooling system for sure. In the trailer, he reaches his hand out towards whatever he sees. First contact with this thing, and some energy blasts back at him.
Yep.
And he's hit by it. And it's actually in the trailer. It's a little scary. Like not like I got scared, but it's like I think something happened to him. He's changed now.
Okay.
And he looks okay by the end, but this is an event. Okay. He's not walking away just thinking, "Wow, that was a cool rock that we found."
Right. He's fundamentally changed from the core. Something he's enlightened now in some way.
I believe that he's receiving a vision. Already, this is not a spoiler. What they've revealed so far is that your character is going to sort of see a vision of some kind. And I believe that is what's happening to this astronaut right here. So the trailer then takes us back. This is later. We don't know how much time has passed, but the ship is coming back to the same landing dock that we saw at the beginning. Our hero emerges. He looks okay. And I gotta say, the trailer's not very long, but I was worried. I was like, oh no, our hero.
Is he alive? Is he morphed into something different?
Did he grow like 2 more arms? If it were Fallout, maybe he would. But he's looking okay. But he looks different. He's looking enlightened.
Yeah, he has kind of a knowing smile and happiness, kind of a...
Yeah, it's like serene.
He has a serenity to him, for sure.
So enough time has passed that our little girl here has sewn the patch onto her jacket. And then we get another look at the city, and then, of course, the sky.
Yeah.
And the city, of course, this is New Atlantis that they're in. What did you think of the trailer?
Oh, spectacular. I think, again, going back to the music and the sound, that's such a big part of an effective trailer. It's succinct, which I liked. It doesn't drag on.
It does, yeah.
Like, it's very, purposeful.
We kind of touched on, when we talked about teasers, about just getting a feel for it, right?
And that's why I love it. It's not spoiler, like we're not seeing actual gameplay, but we're seeing an idea of what gameplay could be. Like with the watch, giving you a warning, like so you have a helper, of some sort, or along with the robot who's there giving light and being your backup and helping you get cereal off the top shelf. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's really cool. I'm impressed. I'm glad, again, that it's not lengthy.
I want to say it feels effortless. They're not trying to pack in as much as they can. They just gave enough. If you didn't know anything about Starfield and you saw this live action trailer, you would know what the game is. Oh, you're exploring, it's in the future. Oh, I see that you can get into battles. There's somebody shooting at their ship, and you're going to explore. And that's what I love. I love games about exploring, and this one is going to have it tenfold.
Agreed. And the interesting thing is, if you go back and look at former Bethesda games like Morrowind, Fallout, whatever, the universe or worlds to those games is very specific, and I would almost say more in a specific genre. Although this is space, this feels bigger just because, like, in Fallout, like if you're gonna buy Fallout 3 or 4, you're okay with being in that post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Post-apocalyptic wasteland,
This is bigger than that. Like, there's probably bombed out, asteroided out cities or whatever as well, or like they could be. But then there's also the new discovery. Just like, again, it just feels bigger. Like the Fallout 76 teaser is very narrow.
Yeah.
In terms of its audience. This and also has almost I wouldn't say a negative feel to it, but
it's
cynical. It's cynical, thank you. That's kind of, I think, where I was going. This is more optimistic and serene.
I think with Fallout, it's like cynical but fun. They're like, haha, the whole world is ruined. Come play in our playground. And
which we've loved to do. I mean, we enjoyed that.
It's super fun. Love Fallout, but the other thing is, to your point, not only is it only a post-apocalyptic wasteland, but it's also like Fallout 4. It's just Boston.
Yeah.
It's just Boston and the surrounding area, and it's just that slice of that world. And Starfield, they've already shown. We're gonna have places that are the nice, clean city, the barren wastelands. You're gonna have, a battlefield from 100 years ago. You're gonna have the, Neon, which is it's on an ocean planet and it's full of crime, and it looks really fun. But it's like so much variety And it like Skyrim, love Skyrim, but it's just Skyrim, and it's very snowy everywhere for the most part, and that's fine because that's the slice that we were given. But you know what's interesting? I haven't seen any snow planets.
They'll be out there.
I am
Snow,
99%
lava. I mean, every
sure.
conceivable thing that is out there will be out there.
With 1,000 planets, I know that we're going to have lots of snow planets.
I think we're going to see ash planets or just like that floating rock planet. You know, there's just going to be new types of weather, if you will. Yeah. That we haven't seen yet, that they just straight up invented. I hope, you know.
And the precedent is there because even though this isn't a Bethesda game, but there's the game No Man's Sky, which does a very good job of just having a variety of planets. And like you've got your snow planets and
it almost becomes an
lava.
Expectation now that other video games have done it. It's like, well, why can't we do what we can do in No Man's Sky with weather or with this procedurally generated star system or whatever it is? Do you want to talk about the QA that we recorded during they had last week?
Let's take a look at the QA.
Okay. We won't go point by point because it's out there.
It's
right?
sort of it's out there, and in the weird internet world that we live in, it's almost old news, even though it's within the last week.
Well, let me ask you this: were there things that stood out or excited you about that QA? What were the things that were the highlights?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Oh, you were? Okay. Jail system.
That's what I was going to ask.
They talked about the jail system. Yeah. They said it takes more from Skyrim than Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Which was the jail system in Fallout 4?
Well, that's a good standout. So here's what's funny. I don't think there is a jail system. You steal from somebody, they're going to try and murder you. I think that's
the jail system.
That's it. And I was excited because I had never put it together. I had never ever compared the quote unquote jail system between Fallout and Skyrim.
Yeah, now that you've explained it to me, now I understand it. Like, in fact, we were talking about this last week. So in Sanctuary, I accidentally pickpocketed the vendor that has the the one that's right there, the lady that's right there in town.
Trash Can Carla?
Yes, Trash Can Carla. So then she won't sell to me, hates me, is always like, and then again, I think I said I left Sanctuary, I pickpocketed her, left Sanctuary, did a bunch of stuff, didn't save in between, or I don't know what happened, but like my previous save was hours before that. So the rest of the entire game, I'm in jail with her.
Oh man, I wish you could make amends with people, but like,
and I try to kill her, and then that turns everybody in Sanctuary against you.
Yeah.
So you can't kill her. You can't. I don't know what to do, but anyway, so like, so that kind of stood out for me, and then.
And in Skyrim, what happens is you can build up a bounty, and so people will. That's why I think this is a good move on their part, because in Skyrim they'll build up a bounty. And then eventually you can either continue to be an outlaw and try to take everyone on, or you can pay your bounty, you can go to jail, and then it's wiped clean. And then you can still go back and buy from that vendor again if you stole from them or whatever. So this is a great move.
Thinking back to Fallout 3, they had that element of surprise where there was a band of somebody was hunting you down. So you would be in a certain part of the map, you would walk out of a building, and all of a sudden you'd be ambushed by 3 or 4 of these this tribe or whatever that was attacking you. That was a cool element within Fallout 3 that almost felt like part of their jail system, because they were hunting you down, and in line with what you're saying about bounty, in Starfield you're gonna have to pay credits, or you're gonna be hunted down by, which could be fun. It's like, I want to build up my bounty until they're coming at me with like 5 stars in GTA.
I mean, if you want to be,
they got the tanks and the SWAT team, and
if you want to be a legendary outlaw, then you can take that path.
Yeah, the jail system, and then they talked about the 20 named characters, the companions, which is a lot when you're fleshing out your Strongs, you're fleshing out your Pipers. You want those characters to have tons of dialogue and tons of interaction. So to have 20 of these, who knows how many lines of dialogue they have. So that's impressive. I think that's going to be fun, and that's going to make your gameplay with your friends so varied. Like you have so many styles of gameplay, and then add a companion to that. Like, who's your companion? Why'd you choose that one? And it's a lot to digest there.
I want to talk about from this Q&A that they did. I want to talk about something that's not in the game.
Okay.
But I don't know if I believe them. But again, I don't want to hype myself up over something that's not in the game. However, they talk about this mech battlefield, and we've actually seen these mechs. They're all broken down. We've seen it in the animated. Yep. They've talked about it. I want to say that we saw it in one of the earlier trailers as well. Now, they maintain that they're not pilotable. Mm-hmm. You can't get in them. They're broken.
You think they're lying?
I don't know, man, because we have power armor in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
They have you, and it's so
much
different.
Where do you go from power armor
right
to a mech where you can customize it, right?
Now, Fallout 3 power armor was just clothes. Mm-hmm. You put it on just like any other armor. Whereas we know in Fallout 4, it was this thing that you get into.
Yeah, it feels like you're in a vehicle in Fallout 4.
So there's that little bit of skepticism. Now, I'm not going to expect it because they keep saying, no, you can't drive them. They're just there. But I thought, okay, here's my thought. Either A, it's a late game thing that you'll get, mm-hmm. or it might be a single scripted event where you find one that you can pilot
and get into it.
It's mm-hmm. just for that one mission.
I'm leaning more toward the first, not the latter, but
yeah. But hey, maybe they're right, or not right. Maybe they're telling the truth. And we won't get to pilot him. That's fine. They set that expectation. But mm-hmm. I hold out a little bit of skepticism.
I feel like it should be there, or it could be there, because they have teased the starfighting stuff a lot, like even in this trailer.
Yeah.
And
which we've seen. We've seen
so we know it's in the game,
and it looks
right?
great.
Like flying through like that spaceship sim. Almost like TIE Fighter, the early TIE Fighter game where you're flying a TIE Fighter around. It's fun, right? And so would piloting a mech be. That would also be a lot of fun. So I don't know. I'm holding out hopes because I want to do it.
Yeah, mainly. I mean, I'm sure it would be a lot of fun. Well, before we wrap up, I want to talk about just, first off, thanks for whoever's listening and watching the show. Really appreciate it. We've had some really great feedback, so I just want to call out some of that feedback.
Cool. They said we should have Berg on, our friend Berg. Should we have Berg on? That was one of the comments.
So our friend Berg, here's what's great. Okay, all right. Here's what's great about our friend Berg. We're the fanboys.
Mm-hmm. And
he is the skeptic. He is the skeptic.
You're wrong. This is going to be lame.
He will call us out. And here's what's great. He knows that the game's going to be good.
Yeah.
He knows it's going to be good.
Does he, though?
He does. He told me.
Okay.
Yeah. But he
could play devil's advocate.
He's devil's advocate. He still thinks he just finds it very funny how kind of obsessed I've been.
Sure.
I've had I'll call it a healthy obsession. I didn't think you were that
obsessed until you dropped the spacesuit comment. Then I'm like, okay, Berg's right.
Yeah, Berg has a point. So yeah, our friend Berg, it would be great because he'd be here and we would say that Skyrim was like a near perfect game, and he would call us out and tell us what was wrong with Skyrim. I know Skyrim has problems, by the way. Let's just be clear. I know. I just don't care because I have so much fun with it.
Okay.
But,
Fair enough.
So I want to thank anyone who's commenting, giving us that feedback.
Absolutely.
We've got The Radical, who says they're super stoked for the game. We've also got Spork Saber. Thanks for chiming in because they said that they loved the first episode.
Cool.
They thanked us for taking the time to make it and look forward to seeing what's next. So
thank you for watching.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate that.
Yep.
We talked about save scumming.
Mm-hmm.
Spork Saber has a great point too. They said that they think it is a ridiculous concept for people to call it out as any sort of negative because it is a single player game.
It's like the phrase guilty pleasure. Lately, I don't think that should be a phrase when you're talking about music or film. It's just like, I like it.
Yeah.
It's not guilty. And I'm not the first one to come. I mean, this is kind of permeated online lately, but I agree with Spork Saber.
Yep, Spork Saber.
Great name, by the way.
Great name. And here's the thing, it's like, do we think like Bethesda is super concerned about the difficulty level?
They're logging how many times you say it too, and they're gonna send you an email. And
that'd be great if at the end you finish the story and then it closes out and then it just shows you save scummed this many times.
Like try actually playing next time. Don't save time.
I've played games where it will tell you how many times you've died, and I'm like, please don't. Please don't do that.
Yeah, that's annoying.
That's information I don't need.
I don't care. It makes you feel bad.
And speaking of healthy skepticism, Crazy Bacon, one of our longtime fans of the channel, the YouTube channel, said that people are expecting an insane masterpiece. So I think
Why would they be expecting that?
Yeah.
Are there like podcasts about it and stuff?
Yeah.
Are there fanboys out there?
So weird. But Crazy Bacon is keeping their expectations in check.
Okay.
I think that's healthy. They do
too.
think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be an insane masterpiece.
Yeah,
We'll see.
My expectations are high.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with them being high because, again, they have a pretty good track record. They're not infallible. There could be stuff about the game that I hate, and there's only one way to find out.
Hey man, Skyrim's got things I hate about it, even though I love the game. Fallout 4's got things I'm not a fan of, even though I love the game. So we'll see. There might be that one little direction they went with something in the game where I'll just go, oh, why'd you do that? But whatever. I think like those other games, we're gonna have a good time.
For some reason, I just thought of speed runs. And remember, like in Fallout New Vegas, you could like cheat the game by zooming in with your binoculars, and then like it would put you to the next zone, and you could like say, you could cheat by doing
zip
that.
Over to where
it was like fast travel. Cheat.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it is possible to speed run this game.
I mean,
I'm anxious to
it's
find
gonna be
out.
possible in some way, and someone's gonna do it, and that'll be interesting to see. That'll be fun.
What a waste.
But but how fast will they do it? But yeah, huge thanks for everyone that's listening. And so we got to let you know that if you're watching on YouTube, look at the links down below, because you can listen to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts.
We have faces for radio, quite honestly.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that might work out a little bit better.
You don't want to look at us. But if you're listening on the podcast app, and you do want to watch our video, we will put a link to the YouTube version of this right there in the show notes. So check it out.
Yeah, give us 5-star review on Apple, and follow and like and do all that stuff, because it really helps us out.
You got
leave a comment.
You know the drill. You
Hook us
gotta
up.
like and subscribe and all that stuff.
How dare you.
And look, if you don't want to write a review, you're not feeling poetic. Just hit that little star. Hit the stars.
5 of them.
5 of them. This is the preferred amount.
Whatever. Do what you got to do.
Whatever you want to do. But we appreciate you listening. So I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Exciting days are ahead. The game comes out basically next week in early access.
It does. Bring your Starfield controller.
I'll bring all my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your spacesuit.
I know. I'm gonna find that spacesuit. It's
We're
out there
make
somewhere.
you a spacesuit to wear during the podcast.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.